Oh my gosh. Oh shit. My bad, y'all. Y'all know I'll be recording this junk right in my house. Welcome to the Mother May I podcast show. I am your host, Whitney Johnson. I'm so happy to be here once again. Y'all, we got a good episode today. You heard me. I've noticed that the kids that everybody else say is bad are usually the ones that cling to me the most. They be the ones that I love the daggone most. The ones with the temper tantrums, falling out and all that shit. Like, that does not bother me. That does not bother me. I think that I'm probably one of the ones in this world that does not get bothered by temper tantrums. And for that reason, I love the work that I do. I am a transformational parenting coach on the side. So in addition to this podcast, I also offer transformational parenting solutions. So if you are a parent with a preschooler and you notice that you are having some temper tantrums and you want to find a more conscious approach to solving those type of problems, I'm your girl. And if you just want to kind of reclaim your time back, you feel overwhelmed by the demands of motherhood and you're really starting to feel like you're losing yourself in overwhelm, you definitely want to connect with me also, because I also help parents find more time for themselves so that they can navigate through motherhood a whole lot easier. So if those are things that you're interested in, I'm going to go ahead and drop the links to those in the comments of this section, just in case you want to connect and talk more about that. Anywho, back on track with the bad kids. So some parents swear up and down their kids be bad as hell. So I decided that today's podcast episode was going to be about that, because that's what I love to talk about. And one of the things I hear parents say all the time is, why are these kids so damn bad? Why they bad, right? And so I want to dig deeper into that. So I wanted you to really understand this from a different perspective, right? So let me get my coffee, because we got to start off with a little sippy sip. Wait a minute. Okay, so first and foremost, I want you to think about yourself before we even get into this. I want you to think about yourself, right? So I want you to think about your home environment, right? If you don't have a little space to yourself, just think about what a space to yourself would feel like, what it would look like, what it would have in it, what it would sound like, what it would smell like. I want you to just kind of visualize that in your head right now. Myself, it would be brightly pink with like black and white stripes everywhere and weird angles and like black art and shit like that everywhere. Incense burning, like that would be my whole thing, right? So if I were to walk in a space like that, like instantly I would feel relief. Instantly I would feel like, all right, I could chill here. And not only could I chill there, but I also feel like in that type of space, I would be inspired. I would be inspired to want to like explore the pictures on my wall. If I have like a lot of black art on my wall, I want to explore those pictures and I look at them deeply. Like I would really be into it. Like if I'm seeing my bright pink walls, it would instantly fill me up with so much happiness. And so I'd instantly start thinking creatively and start putting myself in a happy mood, right? So all these different things in my space would support me in feeling better, showing up better, and being a better version of myself, right? If I created this space within my home. Imagine if you created that similar type of space within your home for your child. Think about how more likely they would be intrigued by the things that they see, touch, and experience, because they're in a space that supports their developmental needs, that satisfies them, that sparks that curiosity, and really helps them to learn something new. Imagine. And a lot of times we as parents, we can't visualize it that way because we're here and we don't think about our children as being here. But in essence, in the reality, they're going through that same similar situation that we're going through. They're just doing it at a different level. So they're here, but they still need the same needs that we need. Right? And so because they need those same needs, a lot of times we miss the mark and we automatically label our kids as bad because they jumping on this and getting on this and hitting this person and doing all the things, right? But in essence, what they're showing to you is that they need something that is actually missing within the home. And so what you may want to do is create a space that supports that curiosity and that natural interest of your preschooler. One of the things that I like to do in my house, because my kids are very, very touchy. We go in the store, they want to touch. We in the house, they want to touch. They're very touchy kids, right? And so because I know that, I purposely put bins in my house that support their sensory development. Because I know they're curious. I know they like how different things touch, how they feel, how they sound when you squish them, how they roll when you put them in your hands. They love things along those lines. And so one of the things that I do, if you haven't heard of this before, but one of the things that I do is I have a sensory bin within my home. And sensory bins can be whatever you want them to be. You want it to kind of trigger all the 5 senses in a different way. And you fill the bin up with things that do that. One thing that I like to do is I fill it up with like beans. We eat a lot of beans. I'm vegan. So we eat a lot of beans in my house. And so sometimes I'll like buy a bag and because they're like $1 for a bag. I don't mind buying like $1 bag of dry beans. And I'll put them in like a bin. Matter of fact, I ain't about to get it out. I'm gonna show it to y'all. Matter of fact, join the Motherhood Circle. I'll actually show you guys my sensory bins and I'll show you how to make one yourself. But anywho, so basically what you wanna do is you wanna fill the bin up with something that intrigues them and something that interests them. And this is how you start to create a space that not only supports you, but it also supports your child. And remember, we want to create a home environment that supports everybody's needs, because that's where we find true peace within the home. And that's how you'll start to reclaim more time for yourself as the mom. So one thing that you can do is set up things that supports your child as well as supports you. If you know that you need this to feel inspired to write that book, if you know you need to create a space to feel inspired to finally take that leap of faith that you've been wanting to take, if you know you need to create a space that makes you feel relaxed so that you can finally unwind and start to exercise again so that you can start feeling better, then that's what you have to do. And part of that is creating the space for yourself and then using that same idea, that same thing within yourself to create that for your child. Create that same type of space for them. If you know that they love to explore things, create a space for them to explore. If you know they like to jump on things, create a space where it's okay to jump for a few minutes if you need to. But you want to create the space that supports everyone within the home, because that's how you truly start to reclaim your time back. And that was today's episode. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Mother May I podcast show. I'm your host, Whitney Johnson. I'm about to sip my coffee, and y'all can find me over on Instagram. Y'all know I'm always tripping in my stories. I always got some shenanigans going on, so you can definitely follow me on Instagram. Head over to the Motherhood Circle. I'm always in there dropping tips for my members. That is a free Facebook group that you can exclusively get tips, parenting support, and all those kind of things from me there in the Motherhood Circle. And then you can find me every week right here on the Mother May I podcast show. And you know you want to be back, so subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.